All right, Chairman.
Good afternoon. The Board of Adjustment is now in session. My name is Anthony Robinson, and I will be chairing today's meeting. Attending today's virtual meeting are board members Mona Parsley, Joe Klitzing, and Mel DeSimone. Also in attendance for the city is Mary Hart Burton, Zoning Administrator for the city, Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the city, and who will represent the city in the cases we are hearing today. Andrea Gutierrez, Lead Zoning Specialist, and Rob Chapman, Secretary to the Board. Our attorney for the board is Archer Mallon, and our court reporter is Laura Stewart. Today, we will be hearing 5 cases. First, we will hear from the city's representative, who will explain why the permit could not be issued. Next, we will hear from the applicant and/or their representative. Please be prepared to explain your hardship and answer any inquiries from the board members. Then we will hear from those in favor of the appeal and then from those opposed. Please be concise, as testimony will be limited to 3 minutes per person. When you come online via video or telephone, please wait to be sworn in by the court reporter. Then please state your name and mailing address. To ensure proper records for our court reporter, we ask that those online or by telephone to please remain on mute. Following testimony on all of today's cases, the board will go into its deliberative portion of the hearing, at which time we will vote on all cases heard. The board will notify each applicant and/or their representative of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. You are welcome to remain during the deliberations. However, we will not hear additional testimony at that time. You may also call the lead zoning specialist, Treya, tomorrow at 314-622-3666 to learn the outcome of your appeal. Again, that number is 314-622-3666. Rob, would you please read appeal number 20590?
Appeal number 20590 at address 6166 Morgan Ford Road.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to operate a community center, cultural education, and community-based programs at 6166 Morgan Ford Road. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Kurdish American Cultural Center in Missouri concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue an occupancy permit authorizing the petitioner to operate a community center at 6166 Morgan Ford Road in city block number 6057.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is Zone F, Neighborhood Commercial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to conserve the values of property throughout the city of St. Louis and protect the character and stability of residential, business, and industrial areas. It's also to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are as follows. Section 26.20.040A, parking for places of assembly. Any arena, auditorium, meeting room, or other structure used principally as a place of public assembly shall provide parking space within 1,000 feet of the main building or structure sufficient to accommodate 1 parking space for every 3 seats based on the maximum seating capacity. Also, section 26.40.025, conditional uses. The following conditional uses may be allowed in the F Neighborhood Commercial District, subject to the provisions of section 26.80. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is looking to operate a cultural center here, and places of assembly are considered conditional use in the F district. However, they don't have enough parking. The rate is one space for every 3 seats based on max seating capacity, and the occupancy load of this facility is 74. So they would need 25 off-street parking spaces, and they're only able to provide 4 parking spaces. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that there is no adopted neighborhood plan for this location. However, the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood, which is intended to support a mix of uses, including some types of commercial activities and neighborhood serving businesses. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 20590 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. We did receive a late submission before the board members received their packets from the alderwoman, so I'm going to read that into the record. September 16, 2025, alderwoman of the First Ward. Dear Ms. Long, my name is Ann Schweitzer, and I am the alderwoman of the First Ward of the City of St. Louis. The purpose of this letter is to express my opposition to the proposed business by Kurdish American Cultural Center in care of Kahim Mohammed, located at 6166 Morgan Ford Road in the Beeville Mill neighborhood. Appeal number 20590 is scheduled to be heard Wednesday, September 17, 2025. It is my understanding that this business needs a variance to operate. The proposed use is not permitted by right, and that causes concerns for whether this would be a use that is appropriate for the neighborhood or the area. The Holly Hills Improvement Association is opposed to this use of the building, and some neighbors have also reached out to me to express their opposition. For this reason, I cannot support the issuance of a conditional use permit for their business. If you have any additional questions about my opposition to this proposal, please do not hesitate to contact me or my office. Sincerely, Ann Schweitzer, Alderwoman of the First Ward. So I called Mr. Kahim Mohammed before the meeting because he's not on the call. And so I guess the first thing he pointed out, I think there was a little bit of confusion between him and the property owner. The owner had expressed to him after he had applied that this would not be an appropriate use at this location. So I asked him to send something in writing if he wished to abandon this appeal and his application. However, he was not at a location where he could send something in writing. So it would be staff's recommendation that the board vote to continue to allow us to get something more concrete at this point from the appellant. And then also, if there's anybody here to speak in favor or opposition, we should allow those folks opportunity to do so. So with that, Mr. Robinson, I will let you continue the normal spiel.
Okay, well, since we do not have the appellant here, is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard.
An exhibit of the Alderwoman's letter of opposition.
And I'm sorry, and the exhibit from the Alderwoman.
Thank you, sir.
With that,
I want to ask a question.
I'm sorry, what was that, Joe?
Mona has a question.
Yes,
Are we
Mona.
gonna continue this or are we gonna do that later?
We can
Yeah,
do it in
I would.
deliberations. Yep.
Yeah, I would do that in
Deliberations.
deliberations.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Rob, can you read appeal number 11969?
Appeal number 11969 at address 5324 Virginia Avenue.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to construct a mixed-use building and townhouses zoning only per plans at 5324 Virginia Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case, photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Grimes Consulting, Inc., care of Kent Neuenberger, concerning the Building Commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to construct a mixed-use building and townhouses, zoning only per plans at 5324 Virginia Avenue, located in City Block number 2822.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is the Dutchtown Special Use District and F Neighborhood Commercial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.16.020, structures prohibited. No structure shall be erected, placed, enlarged, or structurally altered, unless such action shall make the premises upon which it shall stand conform to the regulations for the district in which the premises are located, unless authorized by other provisions of the zoning code. Also, section 26.40.070A, front yard area. Letter A is when 25% of a frontage within a district is improved with buildings, and a majority of such improved frontage has a front yard line variation in depth of no more than 6 feet. No building hereafter constructed shall project beyond the average front yard line so established, except that in no event shall the front yard line be greater than 50 feet. And then also ordinance number 71557, Dutchtown Special Use District, section 12B. Parking requirements cannot fully comply with A above, which references landscaping requirements. Therefore, a conditional use would be required prior to approval. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, this applicant is applying to construct a mixed-use building as well as 2 series of townhouses. This is located in the Dutchtown Special Use District overlay with the underlying F, Neighborhood Commercial District. This is part of a revitalization development plan known as Virginia Plaza. It'll include 2,750 square feet of retail space, as well as 23 dwelling units, a series of 4 townhouse dwelling units, and another series of 3 townhouse dwelling units, with a total of 48 off-street parking spaces and 6 bicycle racks. Because of the unusual shape of this parcel, it actually fronts multiple public streets and has multiple frontages. Therefore, 1 area variance is required for building 1, which has a front yard setback along Compton Avenue that's approximately 132 feet, which is well beyond the 50 feet max allowed. Then additional 2 other area variances are required for the front yard setback along Virginia Avenue. 1 is for Virginia Avenue, 1 is for Eiler Street. The proposed distance of building 3 from Virginia Avenue is approximately 245 feet. The proposed distance of building 3 from Eiler Street is approximately 91 feet. And then another area variance is required for the front yard setback of building 4 along the Virginia Avenue side. It has a proposed distance of approximately 220 feet. So in total, 4 area variances, all for the front yard setbacks of various buildings. And then conditional use approval is required for a lack of the landscape buffer that is required per the SUD district. And yeah. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that this is in the Dutchtown Special Use District. The 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity corridor, which is intended to be pedestrian focused with many types of housing and activity on the ground floors with a mix of uses. This project, which will include a variety of housing types and scales, as well as neighborhood serving commercial space, is exactly in line with the goals of this designation. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11969 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. However, they do make a note that the sloop's intent is to support walkability and the pedestrian experience. Therefore, because there's a lack of providing the landscape buffer required per the SUD, staff would encourage the possibility of conditioning the design with some kind of landscape requirements. Are there any questions from the board?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, and it is about the landscaping in and of itself. Is it just because they don't want to do any landscaping, or where is this coming from exactly? Or do you even know, Evan? I'm asking you questions.
I don't know. I have a feeling they may be willing to do some landscaping. It just wasn't included as part of their set as they were working through, their own financing,
all the other things,
the design, and yeah. So I think we could ask them if that's something they consider.
Thank you, sir.
Evan, can you tell us what the rule is that landscaping
Absolutely.
would require?
Yes, so let's see. A landscape buffer shall be required for parking areas and shall comply with the following requirements. Letter I states that a minimum of 3 feet wide landscaping area located between the sidewalk or street facing the public right-of-way at the parking lot edge. Number 2 says wheel stops shall be located at least 3 feet from parking space, are required in all parking lots. Wheel stops shall be constructed in accordance with the definition of wheel stop. 3 is that one tree with 3-inch caliber shall be maintained every 25 feet, located between the sidewalk or street facing the public right-of-way and the parking lot edge. Number 4 is that, in addition, shrubs shall be planted every 5 feet between the trees. Number 5 is that rocks are not an acceptable form of ground cover or landscaping. And 6 is that species that are listed on Muni Code in the revised statutes of the City of St. Louis, Missouri, section 11.04.040 as a public nuisance shall not be permitted.
So basically, it's just a barrier along the perimeter of the parking lots.
Yep.
They were asking for a 3-foot area to put shrubs and trees.
You got it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's hear from the appellant, Mr. Nurnberger.
Do I need to be sworn in?
Yes.
Hello, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Kent Nurnberger. I work at 12300 Old Tesson Road in St. Louis. And I'm a civil engineer. I work for Grimes Consulting as a representative for this project. So the design of this project is which I'm sure you've driven out there and looked at it, but the existing property the overall property consists of an abandoned torn down gas station and I believe it's an old Dollar General store with the existing property. Our client desires to go through it, add additional housing to the area, and they also desire to put a neighborhood market, a grocery store at this location. As Evan mentioned, the desirability for this site is to be walkable. We have provided the required parking for the site, but the idea is that it's more of a walkable bus route, bicycle friendly site. So that's the way it's been geared. But with that, it goes with the intention that we want to be close to the sidewalk and that we can have the quick accessibility off the street onto the buildings. Quickly, I want to say also is that we did have a landscape plan created, but apparently that got missed in communication between us and Evan, which I apologize for. But the intention is to go ahead and landscape the site.
Okay. Any board members have any questions for Mr. Nuremberger? Mona.
So you're gonna landscape the site, how?
Pretty much every place possible in front of the buildings, between the buildings and the sidewalk that we have. I believe it's 5 foot there. So we'll be landscaping along there. Obviously can't put a tree that close, but they do want to go back through. There's the existing tree wells along the public sidewalk. We desire to put trees back into those, which the trees have been gone for quite a while. So plant those. We are trying to save the existing trees on Eiler that are there because they're in good shape. I'm not a landscaper, but as far as I know, they're in good shape. And then shrubs and other plantings throughout the site.
So is it your intention to update your plans and show that to the city or just do it at your own leisure? I'm a little confused.
Well, we had thought that we included it with this package, but Evan made us aware that we needed to do that. So it took us a little bit longer to get that together. So we have already included it. And while we were talking, I was looking for it. I couldn't find it in the time I had to be able to share it with you now. But we plan on, yes, going ahead and landscaping it. And we plan also to be part of, before we ever get construction approval, they'd be included in it also.
How do we handle that, Evan, when we don't have the proper plans and we're here?
I have a hand up.
I was gonna say, Mary, in here.
Thank you.
Thank you. First, I have a question before I can answer that for Mona. A question for Mr. Nuremberger. Mr. Nuremberger, did you hear Evan read the condition out of the SUD regarding the landscaping?
The requirements for it, the parking requirements for it.
Yes.
I understood. Well, I heard him say it. I'm not a landscaper, so I don't quite understand landscaping that well. But I understood the requirement for the trees and the shrubs.
Okay. So if the board were, I don't get a vote, but if in deliberations the board were to put a condition that on this, that you meet the landscaping requirements of the SUD, will your client be able to do that?
As far as I understand the requirements, yes. Our client desires to do it. They've actually put quite a few in. They want it to look nice. They don't want it to be basically buildings, a parking lot, and nothing else. They want it to be an attractive part of the neighborhood. Now, if you're asking me, will they be able to meet every single part of the letter of the law? I can't say that because I don't have the knowledge. They have the desire to.
Mary,
is there anyone here that can answer that question, Mr. Nuremberger?
I can tell you how many trees and shrubs would be required to meet it, if that's helpful. They would need 3 trees and 15 shrubs because it only applies to the areas that are covering parking. And most of the building covers the parking lots because the parking's behind all the buildings. So the landscape buffer only applies to the areas near the entrances on Eichelberger and Eiler Street. So in total, they'd need 3 tree plantings and 15 shrubs to meet the condition of the SUD.
This is Becky. I'm not sure if you can hear me. May I speak up?
You would need to wait to be
Becky,
sworn
no,
in.
you would need to be sworn in.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Nurnberger, it's okay if you can't answer that question. We just need to know if you can or can't so we can move on with the hearing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question.
Okay, so then to answer Mona's question, I think the board in deliberations could choose to put a condition on there that they meet the SUD requirement, and then the applicant would just simply have to provide a set of plans that meet that. But since we've heard testimony that Mr. Nurnberg can't say that they can meet that unless we hear some additional testimony, you might have to consider tabling this and bringing it back with a revised set of plans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I share my screen?
No, we don't allow.
Because I found the landscaping plan that was sent, and we have a total of, let's give a total on here, 3, 7, 10. We have a total of 21 trees on the entire site, which includes the Eichelberger, which is not part of this, the Eichelberger. So what we've done is we've placed trees in all the tree wells along Virginia Avenue. We've added an additional one on Eiler to fill in a space there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees internal to the site.
Yeah, I believe that is the site plan that the board has in front of them. It shows the trees, but there's also the requirement of the shrubbery. And so that's what doesn't meet the SUD requirement.
Oh, is it, are there not enough is what it is?
There are no shrubs shown on this plan that I have.
Okay, I can't address that. I'm not positive. What I'm looking at has shrubs on it. So
Okay.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Does any other board members have any questions?
Nope.
Hi, Mr. Robinson, can I ask another question?
Sure.
I'm not a board member, but can you talk at all about the funding? Is this related to ARPA funds at all?
this is related to Missouri Housing and Urban Development, I believe it is, which brought in the problem of why we can't just consolidate the properties at this point in time, which is the ultimate goal, is to consolidate these 2 lots into one. But we can't do that until we own both pieces. Both pieces of property are owned together and as consolidated as one lot, but that can't be done until the end of the funding process, which is well after we do construction, or do at least construction plans for this project, which was the reason behind why we did the request for this meeting in the first place, is because we just want to know, can we build with basically 0 setbacks on this property before we invested the money in going to full construction documents.
Great, thanks, Ken.
And also, could I ask one more question? Rather than, and the mention was made of possibly tabling this without the information about the landscape buffer. Also in the prior information, it was, we could request a conditional use approval for this. Would that be possible at this point? Because we want to provide it, but we also want to keep moving with the project.
So that's how I read it into the record. You're right. So, I mean, the way the SUD is written is that there's these conditions about landscaping. If those conditions cannot be met, the board can essentially make it a conditional use, and they could set some parameters around what that condition would look like. But it has to be something that we can essentially quantify so that staff would be able to go out there and investigate if you weren't meeting the conditional use, which is why I was kind of asking about how many trees or how many shrubs, if there was a way the board could condition it based on your testimony here today. But yeah, you've kind of indicated that you're not super comfortable answering maybe how many trees would be provided or where, and we don't have a site plan to show them, so they may not be comfortable issuing it without with a conditional use without more context. So they'll weigh that out in deliberations, though.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
I'm here, Becky Reinhardt with DeSales.
Ms. Reinhardt, let's get you sworn in.
Hi, Ms. Reinhardt. I am Laura Stewart, the court reporter. Since you are on the telephone, can you verbally confirm that your hand is raised, that your right hand is raised?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and if you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
Yes, Rebecca Reinhardt with DeSales Community Development, 2759 Russell Boulevard, 63104.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Hi, yes, I'm the Executive Director at DeSales Community Development. We are developing Virginia Plaza. As Kent gave an overview of the project, we're really excited about this project that is going to bring many of the goals and visions of the greater Dutchtown community into reality. And he has spoken to the project, and I appreciate Evan providing a lot of context as well. But one thing I wanted to just chime in and add is that it does include ARPA funding. So there is some time sensitivity with the project. The primary funding source is the low-income housing tax credit through MHCC with federal and state tax credits. There are historic tax credits for 2 historic buildings that will be preserved through this project, as well as city funding through CDA, including and the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, including ARPA funds from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So we are really excited and just a great urgency in getting this project underway to produce 78 units of mixed income housing, bring a nonprofit grocery store to a food desert, and really contribute to the vibrancy and growing development of the Virginia Avenue Business District in Dutchtown. Even though this is actually in Carondelet, but in the grand Dutchtown area of South City.
Okay, any board members have any questions? All right, thanks, Ms. Reinhardt. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, city journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Rob, can you read appeal number 11970?
Appeal number 11970 at address 5306 Virginia Avenue.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Again, good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I will be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to construct a multifamily dwelling zoning only per plans at 5306 Virginia Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Grimes Consulting, Inc., care of Kent Nernberger, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to construct a multifamily dwelling, zoning only per plans at 5306 Virginia Avenue, located in city block number 2822.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is the Dutchtown Special Use District, as well as the F Neighborhood Commercial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.16.020, structures prohibited. No structure shall be erected, placed, enlarged, or structurally altered, unless such action shall make the premises upon which it shall stand conform to the regulations for the district in which the premises are located, unless authorized by other provisions of the zoning code. Also, section 26.16.085E, bicycle parking requirements, off-street, there's an off-street parking reduction for bicycle parking. The total number of vehicle off-street parking spaces required under the zoning code shall be reduced at a rate of 1 automobile off-street parking space for each 1 bicycle space provided. The total number of required automobile off-street parking spaces, however, shall not be reduced by more than 10% for any newly developed or rehabilitated structure. Also, section 26.40.070B, front yard area, where any frontage is partially in a dwelling district and partially in a commercial district, the front yard regulations of the dwelling district shall apply to that frontage. And then finally, ordinance number 71557, that's the Dutchtown Special Use District, section 12B, which is parking requirements that cannot comply with A, above, require conditional use. Again, that's the landscaping buffer requirements. And then also section 13B, the special use district, residential dwellings with more than 8 units shall provide no less than 0.6 parking spaces for each dwelling unit. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, this is an additional parcel related to the Virginia Plaza redevelopment project directly north of the previous appeal. This parcel will have a total of 22 dwelling units and 11 off-street parking spaces with 4 bicycle racks. Again, this is an unusual parcel in that it fronts 2 streets and therefore has 2 front yards, 1 side yard to the south, and a rear yard to the east. Therefore, 1 area variance would be required for a violation of the front yard setback along Eichelberg. The established frontage along Eichelberg is 25 feet, and the proposed distance of the multifamily structure will be approximately 2 feet. A second area variance is required for a violation of the side yard setback. In the B district, a 4-foot side yard is required, and this building will be set on the property line. And then a third area variance is required for the lack of parking. Again, because they're not under the same ownership, which may have alleviated the parking needs. They're actually at a deficit on this parcel for this multifamily dwelling unit. Only 11 parking spaces are being provided technically at this site. and there's 22 dwelling units. Therefore, they would need a total of 14 parking spaces. And then finally, conditional use approval is required for lack of the landscape buffer. Again, the board could choose to condition it in some way because they're not meeting the street trees with the recommended shrubs between the street trees to hide the parking area. So with that, the City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency, again, states that this is in the Dutchtown Special Use District. It's in the medium intensity corridor of the strategic land use plan, which is intended to be pedestrian focused with many types of housing and active ground floors with a mix of uses, which includes a variety of housing types and scales, as well as neighborhood serving commercial spaces. And reduced parking is exactly in line with the goals of the designation. Therefore, planning staff would find the request of appeal number 11970 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Again, they make a note that it is encouraged to be sensitive to landscaping where appropriate on and around surface parking to assist in protecting the residents and pedestrians from sun, heat, and improve water retention and air quality. Therefore, the board may want to consider conditioning some type of landscape requirements. Are there any questions from the board?
So it's owned by two separate people, Evan?
I believe that's the case, and I apologize. I don't know all the details of that, but they're working on allocation in some capacity, which is why they couldn't consolidate. At least that was the testimony at the last appeal. So again, we should ask him to clarify again with this, so we understand what that means.
Okay, so they have extra parking at the previous at 5324. Do they have extra parking there?
I believe that's correct, but I don't know how much extra.
Okay, so we have 11 parking, 22 dwelling, and how many are we short? 6, did you say?
They're
We're
required to
not
have,
1 to 1 here?
No.
it's a 0.6 per the SUD.
Okay.
And then they also took advantage of a reduction for providing bicycle parking racks.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I thought Evan was telling me how many we were short.
Oh, he's
Sorry, I'm
sorry.
calculating in my head. I apologize.
Okay, I thought so. I'm sorry.
That's not my strong
Sorry,
suit.
Evan.
So let's see here. They have 22 dwelling units. They're providing 11 off-street parking spaces with 4 bicycle racks. The 22 dwelling units would require a total of 14 parking spaces. So the proposal includes bicycle parking, which would provide a reduction of 1 bicycle parking space. So they really only are short 2 parking spaces on that parcel.
Okay.
They're at a deficit of 2.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Do I need to be sworn in again?
Yes.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Nuremberg, we'll need you to state your name and mailing address again for the record.
So it's Kent Nurnberger. Mailing address is 12300 Old Tesson Road in St. Louis. Again, I'm a representative for the civil engineer on this site. While the other site had grocery and residential properties to it, this site is solely residential. Desires to provide housing in this area and walkable space. I can't think of much else to say. It's very much tied into the other site also.
Okay, any board members have any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Nuremberger. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay, hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Rob, can you read appeal number 11973?
Appeal number 11973 at address 100 South 4th Street.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good afternoon. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to install 2 wall signs illuminated per plans at 100 South 4th Street. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Warren Sign Company, care of Sue Winter, concerning the Building Commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorized the petitioner to install 2 wall signs illuminated per plans at 100 South 4th Street, located in city block number 6468.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is Zone L, Jefferson Memorial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.68.02021 definitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the following terms, phrasing, words, and their deviations shall have the following meanings. The area of a projection sign is included in the gross area of all allowable signs of the applicable zoning district except ground signs. Only one side of a projection sign shall be counted in computing the total square feet of a sign. So definition number 21 is sign frontage, means the length along ground floor building front facing a street or private way accessible from a street, which is occupied by a separate and distinct use or by the same use which occupies the front of said building. And then section 26.68.120D, signs in zone districts I and L, the permitted maximum sign area, the total area in square feet of all on-premise signs on a sign frontage, except for freestanding signs, shall not exceed the average distance of the sign of the center line of the abutting street, which gives you a multiplier, which is multiplied by the distance along the ground floor frontage. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is applying for signage for Anthem offices, which are located at 100 South 4th Street. However, Anthem doesn't own the entire building and doesn't occupy any space on the ground floor. Therefore, they don't have any sign frontage. This is a mixed-use building. And because they have no sign frontage, they technically have no allowable area of signage. As a result, 2 area variances would be needed, 1 for each sign, because there is no sign frontage. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that in regular course of business, the Board of Adjustment periodically hears appeals related to sign regulations, In general, adopted elements of the comprehensive plan of the city of St. Louis, including the strategic land use plan and neighborhood plans, do not address signage and have no recommendations. Thus, staff at the Planning and Urban Design Agency elect not to make findings for signage variances unless very specific circumstances or site conditions warrant attention. Special circumstances may include such items as location, size, orientation, content, adopted plan that specifically addresses the signage area. However, for today's findings, there is no finding from the planning department regarding appeal number 11973. Are there any questions from the board? Sorry, that one felt rambly to me. Essentially, there's no sign frontage, which allows no allowable area, and they need an area variance for each sign.
What side is it on?
Oh, let me put my plans. There's one on the north side along 4th Street, and then one facing the south side along Walnut and Memorial.
Thank you.
Sorry, let's hear from the appellant.
Hello there.
Hi, Mr. Michael?
Michael.
All right, let's get you sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, if you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
My name's David Michael, and my mailing address is 6001 Nimps Parkway in South Bend, Indiana, 46628. And I want to thank you for taking your time today to hear this request. Like you said earlier, Evan, sites at 101 or 100 South 4th Street, and we are looking to apply for a variance or respectfully request a variance for 2 signs, one on the east elevation and one on the west elevation, each at 165 square feet. Just a couple points I want to mention. Anthem is a nationally recognized brand, and they will occupy 45,000 square feet of this building, which would be the entirety of floors 10 and 11. We do have landlord approval on the size and location of both signs. And after doing some calculations in the code, it appears to me that all the signs on the east elevation, including the existing Deloitte sign, those together on that sign frontage do not exceed the square footage allowance. And then we're also going to have the only sign on the west elevation, and that is within the square footage allowance as well. So like Evan said, it's to my understanding, it is we're requesting this variance because we do not have ground floor tenancy. But our request is not out of the norm for this area. If you see the Peabody and Sandberg Phoenix building, they both have signs, 2 signs on the same side of the building. And yeah, like I said, again, we do have landlord approval on that. We've worked with them hand in hand to make sure that our plans are good with them. And I think this would be a nice addition to the St. Louis skyline with the nationally recognized brand of Anthem. And with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Does
You
Deloitte
submit-
have 2 signs on the building?
Yes.
Currently, they have 2 signs on the building?
Yes, Deloitte does.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you
Yes.
submit the landlord approval?
So I did not handle the submission per se. I'm doing the presentation, but I believe that should have been submitted and can be provided if not.
Okay, I didn't see it, but maybe it's in there.
Evan, was that part of the submittal?
I'm looking.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
I'm looking too. But you could provide that if we made a condition.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah.
My apologies for that.
No, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone here, and thank you, Mr. Michael. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
I have one other question, Anthony.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Michaels, so are you guys there now, or is this a new lease for you?
I believe this is a new lease. Unfortunately, I'm not privy to all of that information. I just typically work with the signage, but I do believe this is a new lease. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo, excuse me, from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Rob, can you read appeal number 11974?
Appeal number 11974 at address 1001 West Highlands Plaza Drive.
You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to install one wall sign illuminated per plans at 1001 West Highland Plaza Drive. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Warren Sign Company, care of Sue Winter, concerning the Building Commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to install one wall sign illuminated per plans at 1001 West Highlands Plaza Drive, located in city block number 4002.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is G, Local Commercial and Office District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.68.02021 definitions. 21 is sign frontage, means the length along a ground floor building front facing a street or private way accessible from a street which is occupied by a separate and distinct use or by the same use which occupies the front of said building. And then section 26.68.100D2, signs in zone districts G and H. D is the permitted maximum sign area. 2 is that all other uses, the total area in square feet of all on-premise signs on a sign frontage, except for freestanding signs, shall not exceed the conversion chart, which is that the average distance of a sign from the center line of a budding street is multiplied by, or gives you a multiplier, which is multiplied by the sign frontage. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is applying for an illuminated wall sign. Again, this is a multi-tenant building. They do not occupy sign frontage or length along ground floor. Therefore, there's no allowable area, and an area variance would be required for this sign prior to approval. Again, the City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that on very rare occasions, essentially they will weigh in on signage. But today, no findings have been made for the following appeal, number 11974. Are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Good afternoon. My name's John Crone. I'm with Warren Sign.
All right, let's get you sworn in, Mr. Crow.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And sir, could you please, for the sake of the record, spell your name?
Yeah. John, Jon, Crone, Krone.
Thank you.
Okay, and also, can you state your mailing address, Mr. Crow?
Yes. Warren Sign, 2955 Arnold Tenbrook Road, Arnold, Missouri, 63010.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Yeah. So KSDK Channel 5 has been in the city of St. Louis for 43 years on Market Street, and they are now going to move to the Highland Plaza Drive address where you see the drawing for the sign, for the illuminated wall sign. Currently at their downtown location, they have an illuminated wall sign as well. So nothing different than they currently enjoy. But as a leader and member of the community, they want to have that visible exterior signage. We've worked on this building quite a bit over the years. At Warren Sign, we've done the Jacobs sign that you see, the Simon Law sign that you see, and the Daniel Henry sign. So the fabrication method that we use here and the size of the sign is consistent with the other signs on the building. The elevation faces north to the highway. None of the other signs that, or at least Jacobs and Simon, I know they are not located on the ground floor either. And so, again, this would be consistent. The Channel 5 would, like the exterior building signage to continue to be visible to the community that they serve.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? All right. Thanks, Mr. Crow.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Hello, this is Jeff Larson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Larson. Let's get you sworn in.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Larson, since you're on the phone, can you verbally confirm that your right hand is raised?
I can confirm.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Can you state your name and mailing address for the record, Mr. Larson?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Jeffrey Larson. My mailing address is 33 Cedar Brook Lane, Kirkwood, Missouri, 63122.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
As Mr. Crone mentioned, KSDK has been an occupant of the city of St. Louis for over 40 years. As part of the real estate environment, you may have noticed a lot of other businesses in the area exiting the city. KSDK has decided to stay within the city and is proud of that gesture and would like to retain signage along a more populous area, Highway 40, than their current occupancy as well, to kind of show that pride for continuing their belief in our city. Again, John mentioned that our conformity to other signs on the building will be met as well. And due to the nature of the commercial real estate market, KSDK right-sized their real estate footprint. So to the point about space, they decreased as many other tenants are in the market, but I think they're again, looking to be proud of their continued occupancy in the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
May I add?
Okay. Mr. Crone, no, you cannot testify.
Yep. I just wanted to add that there were some alderman letters that I hope that have made it to your files. Alderman support letters from
Yes,
Cox and
we do have those.
okay, just want to make sure. Yep.
Any board members have any questions for Mr. Larson? Okay. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, a memo from Planning and Urban Design, letter of support from Alderman Brett Narayan, and a letter of support from Alderwoman Jamie Cox Antwi. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. And with that, this concludes our testimonial portion of the hearing. Thank you, Laura, for your service.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Board members, shall we continue or take a 5-minute recess?
Continue.
I'm good to go.
Me too.
Okay. Let's see. How do we want to do that? Okay. Let's start with appeal number 20590, 6166 Morgan Ford Road.
You just want to dismiss without prejudice?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mel, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Appeal number 11969, 5324 Virginia Avenue.
I really don't want to see this held up over some bushes.
Well, I don't really want to see them skate by without doing what needs to be done with regard to landscaping.
Well, I just want to point out that that was the intent of that caveat in the SUD, that when folks, for whatever reason, can't adhere to what was asked, it allows for a conditional use so that maybe something that is appropriate could be addressed. They are actually going to be providing way more than what is required. Like I was trying to point out, they're only required to cover the parking area. So that's literally 3 trees and 15 shrubs. So, if you want to hold them to what the SUD states.
I don't want to hold them. I want to make them do some. So we can condition that.
So you have some options here. You could approve the variance and you could put the condition on there that they meet.
We're frozen.
I'm not frozen.
Wait.
I was.
Oh, okay. So you have some options here. You could approve the variance with the condition that they meet the landscaping requirement of the SUD. Or because they're here for a variance, you could take a look at the site plans on both of the projects. This applies to both of them, and see if the landscaping that's indicated on the current site plan that you have in your package, is that adequate? Then you can grant a variance for that. Or your third option is you can continue it and make them come back with a set of plans that show the landscaping they're going to do.
The landscaping is basically along the curb cuts into the parking lot, basically.
It's
No.
on plans. Go ahead, Evan.
Oh, sorry. I maybe misunderstood. Were you asking what's required, Joe? Or what's,
Yeah, it's basically some plants, a tree or two or three or whatever, and some shrubs at the curb cuts, basically into the parking lot to block it from the street, correct?
yes, it acts as a screen or landscape buffer from the street. Yes, but only like you're saying, it doesn't count, like you don't have to plant a tree in the entrance, but essentially they just have a parking space on each side of each entrance. So that's what you'd be screening.
And
Seems to me the easiest is to say, hey, it's not that many plants. Figure some way to give us something down the road that shows that
If
we're
you
doing
want something
yeah.
else, you're going to have to table it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right.
Or you're gonna
Yeah,
have to
so-
describe what you're
Drop
We
that one.
can't,
Yeah.
why do we have to table it? Why can't we say this is what we
If you're
want?
asking for something that the staff did not have to review at the time we sent this to you, that's new evidence. So you have to table the hearing.
But we could say we
But-
could approve it with the
You
minimum.
can put a condition on there and tell them exactly
Right.
what you want on there. But you can't put a condition on there saying, bring us back.
I
No,
understand. I
That's new
understand.
evidence.
right.
So
So-
really, the statement we should make is just meet the landscape requirements and the other
And the S.
Unless
SUV.
you feel that the landscaping that was provided on the plans you saw is adequate, then you can give a variance for that.
Okay.
And I didn't see any landscaping.
I didn't either.
So
There's a
I-
section that shows some trees.
The tree wells are all shown around.
Evan, did you say
perimeter
that
of
the plan
street.
showed 21 trees?
Yeah, you look at them a little closer. There's some site plans in there that show some trees. Do we need to
okay.
take a break and let everybody have a chance to look at that?
Already did.
Then why are you asking the question?
What page is it on?
Wasn't me.
Yeah, I didn't.
Page 1.
It's the civil page site plan.
Yeah.
That
One.
Page
would
1.
that be page in the email, page 14.
Thank you. I got page 11.
Oh, there's 14.
Okay. Okay. I can sort of, now that it's been mentioned, sort of vaguely see.
Can you faintly see the trees that they show?
Yeah,
on-
I can sort of faintly at first because
Yeah.
I could not see them, but now that I'm
I had to zoom in
looking,
on mine to be able to see it.
yeah.
I don't have good eyes, so.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you could condition landscaping, right? I mean, he testified 21 trees, so you could condition that just 21 trees be planted on the site. If you're concerned about, what is the concern, I guess? Is the concern of the buffering? Is it just that he provide plantings?
Well, it was the intent of the condition here to landscape the entry so you don't see the expanse of the parking lot from the street. At least that's way I would interpret what you're asking for. I mean, I thought originally that we were asking to do landscaping across the whole property line between this parking lot C and the 4 buildings on the other street. But we're not asking for that. We're asking for some landscaping to block the parking lots from the street.
Well, unless I'm looking at the wrong civil plans, I think most of the parking is going to be concealed by building number 1.
Correct.
Yes.
Right, so heavy planting at that curb cut off of the street whose name I can't read because it's too little.
One is
Talking
Eichelberger.
Is it Ellen Street maybe or Island?
Eiler.
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 Eiler to the south. Yeah.
So then I'm not a landscape person either, but I would think some heavy landscaping at that entry would prevent you from being able to see the parking that you'd be able to see down that street.
I agree with that, Mary, and that's what I was thinking about.
And I would say the 21 trees, since he testified to that.
Okay, so what about a condition like this? You would like them to put 2 trees at the entrance to the parking lot on Eiler and 1 tree at the entrance on Eichelberg with a total of 21 trees. Well, so I guess it's technically 2 parcels and 2 appeals.
So you'd have 2 on the one and 1 on the other.
I would focus on buffering the entrances and just do 2 trees at the entrance of Eiler and 1 tree at the entrance of Eichelberger and call it. But that's my position, and I'm not a board member.
So there's 21 trees put in now, but are they all street trees?
So I'm in agreement with Evan, and I think in addition to our conditions, we have a total of 21 trees dispersed throughout, with those 3 locations being specific.
So then, Mr. Anthony, would it be a condition worded something like the petitioner must provide 21 trees total on the site, 3 of which must be 2 at the entrance to Eiler and 1 at the entrance to Eichelberger? Is that something?
Yes.
Content? Okay.
That is what I am thinking.
I agree with that. And if they don't want to put all those in there, they can come back and ask us to change it.
Okay.
The question I was asking though is how many tree wells are there around the perimeter of the site? Is that 21? So will we change that to say we need to have 24 as opposed to 21?
And we do it this
way. Said 21 trees total.
No, it's 21 trees total with 3 of those 21 we are providing specific locations on.
Okay, I was just asking that question because if we take those 3 trees out of the 21 and there's 21 tree wells along the street, we're going to have 3 tree wells and no trees.
Yeah, I don't. Unless I'm reading this wrong, I don't see anything that shows a designated tree well. It just shows like the little tree bubble. So I don't know that I guess that there would be a tree well there, but
the reason I'm saying that, Mary, is on the first site plan, there are little squares where tree wells would be all the way out around the street.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned that they'd have to do something smaller because they're so close to it or whatever.
Can we just say something along the lines of they have to fill all the tree wells around there along with the 3 that we want?
I only see 12.
I'm just saying this.
Yeah, so I could see filling all of the tree wells
with an additional
locating 3 trees specifically with a minimum of 21 trees total.
Yes.
Okay, I'll buy that. Are you going to add the caveat that 1 has to go on Eichelberger and 2 have to go on Eiler?
Yes, but I'm not making the motion.
Okay.
That was my motion. Just the way
What
you
was your
worded it,
motion, Mel?
the way you worded it just now is the way that was the exact way.
21 trees with 2 on Eiler and
No,
1
no,
on
no, no, no,
Eichelberger.
no.
No.
All tree wells have to be filled. There are a minimum of 21 trees, and trees have to be on, was it 2 on Eichelberger? And one
Yeah.
On
on
Eiler.
One on Isle, one on
One on
Eichelberger,
Eiler,
two on Isle.
Eichelberger. And all the tree wells have to be filled. There has to be a minimum of 21 trees dispersed throughout the property. You know,
I'll
with
second that.
That makes
Okay.
sense. Mary, does that cover it?
So what I have is the motion is that all the tree wells must be filled. There must be 21 trees scattered throughout the site. And of the 21, 2 of those trees must be at the entrance on Eiler, and 1 of the trees must be at the entrance on Eichelberger.
Well, yeah, but I don't want 21 trees throughout the site. It's just those of the 21 trees, the tree wells count for those.
Yeah.
So just 21 trees.
But there's
21 trees
total.
total.
Total. Right.
So I
So
think
The way you said,
that
the way you
captures
said
that.
it, the way you said it
But
before.
you should say your own motion. So you say it, I'll write
I
it down
will.
exactly how you say
21 trees in total. All
Okay.
tree wells have to be filled.
it. Okay.
2 on Eichelberger,
no, either.
Eiler, 1 on Eichelberger. Okay. For a
Okay.
total of 21 trees.
I'll second that.
All right. Did you get that, Mary?
Yeah.
Should I repeat it? Or no? We're
No,
good.
I think I got it. We beat the trees to death. Okay.
Okay. All right. Motion's been made by Mel, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All of those opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Mel?
Will not be a detriment as conditioned.
Thank you.
Now, does that handle the next appeal too, or do we need to?
No, they're
No.
two separate appeals. You have to
Yeah.
rule on
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I was just asking a question.
You should know.
Tied it all together. So will it be the same appeal? I mean, the same,
No, they're 2 separate appeal numbers. It's going to be 2 separate decisions.
okay.
Appeal
So-
number 11970, 5306 Virginia Avenue. I think we have an understanding. We could make the same motion.
Yeah.
Do we have to say the same motion or same thing, Mary, or can we refer it to?
You have to make a motion.
Okay. What could I make the exact same motion? Would it?
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. See motion above.
No.
Nice
Okay.
try.
Oh, I like Mary. I don't like that look. I was like,
My children get scared when they get that look, just so you know.
so again, all tree wells have to be filled. 2 trees have to be on Eiler, 1 on Eichelberger, and a total tree planting of 21 trees throughout the site.
I'll second it.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion made by Mel, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All of those opposed? Motion carries.
Still will not be
Findings?
still will not be a detriment as conditioned.
Thank you.
Okay. Appeal number 11973, 100 South 4th Street.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Mona, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 All of those opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Mona?
Won't be a detriment.
Thank you.
Okay. appeal number 11974, 1001 West Highland Plaza Drive.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second you.
Okay, motion made by Mona, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Findings?
Won't be a detriment.
Okay. And then, I'm not sure how to handle this individually. I think appeal number 11797.
Mr. Robinson, can I
Yes.
just give a point of information to the board? So
Yeah.
each of you have received a separate email from Drea, and in that email are correspondences that go to appeals number 11836, appeals number 11797, and appeals number 11809. All three of these appeals are appeals that we have received communication from the petitioner that they would like to either abandon or not move forward with the permit. And so we are recommending to the board that they dismiss these without prejudice. So we will need to do a separate vote on each appeal. Do we need to take a couple minutes for you to make sure you've all had an opportunity to look at that email, or maybe you all have already looked at it and you're ready to vote?
I've looked at it already.
So I've reviewed it and was ready.
Okay. Then Evan will just briefly summarize the communication on each of those appeals and we can vote.
Okay.
All right, appeal 11836, building permit AB 578794. They simply say, please abandon the following Board of Adjustment Appeal 11836 and building permit AB 578794. Thank you, Tim Green, the appellant.
So you need a motion to dismiss without prejudice, Mary?
Yes, sir.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Motion made by Mel, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, appeal 11797. We have decided not to move forward with the garage, so this appeal can be canceled. Best Kevin Pona, appellant.
I'll make a motion to dismiss without prejudice.
I'll second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And then appeal 11809 at 1242 and 1232 Hampton Avenue. Hi, Andrea. Our client has decided not to pursue this project. Can you please withdraw the application along with associated building permit application? Thank you, Dr. Nicole Vicari.
I'll make a motion to dismiss without prejudice. Thank you, Mel.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made by Joe, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Meeting minutes.
I looked them over and I read them. I did not see any errors. So if you want, I will make the motion to try to find them. Approve the minutes for
September 10th.
September 10th. Thank you. I'm bringing it back up. I'll
No
make a motion. Approve the
I'll second it.
printed by September 10th.
Okay. Motion made by Mel, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? And meeting minutes are accepted. Any new business?
Have no new business for you from our end.
We here next week again?
We are here next week.
Okay.
Great.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All
There you
right. Motion made by Joe, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
go. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. See y'all next week.
Meeting adjourned. See you
All right.
next week.
Thanks,
Aye.
everybody.
Have a good
Bye.
one, everybody. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.